Jackson finally reached the summit and gazed out across the cloud-enshrouded landscape. As the morning sun illuminated the air, a strong wind arose from the west, and Castle Maldorn finally came into view. He caught his breath, his nearly 7-year journey at an end. Every wizard, warlock, bard, and druid in the kingdom said he would fail, but they were all wrong. The legends were true, and he was the first to lay eyes on the legendary castle in over 900 years. The wind calmed as he watched, the clouds becoming still. He focused on a doorway that opened onto a balcony and cleared his mind of all distracting thoughts. Maraba anja biba, he whispered. Instantly, he vanished from the summit and appeared on the balcony. Turning to survey the view, the wind picked back up, whipping the clouds about the castle. The mountains around him vanished in the white shroud and were lost. The castle was moving again, and he was along with it. Grinning with excitement, the pains of his years-long travels forgotten, Jackson turned and entered the castle. The legends were plentiful of the mythical lost castle of Maldorn, and he knew them all by heart. The origins were all the same, though. Bereft of acceptance and companionship, Maldorn had secluded herself away from the world. Her tower was expanded into a great castle, complex, mysterious, and occupied by creatures she brought into being. Though she never found camaraderie among any of the spellcasting castes, she was a curiosity of the ages. It was her magic that was the subject of debate. Wizards were known for their love of bringing life to that which did not have it. Witches' reputation of animal familiars and spirit guides was well earned. Warlocks trafficked with the dead and entities not of this world, and druids could befriend a tree for centuries. Maldorn's magic centered on the elements themselves. It was said she could speak to the stones of the world and knew their history. Tales woven by bards tell of how she commanded the air and the sea with equal skill. One tattered, age-worn tome that Jackson prized above all else even mentioned how she commanded fire like an old friend. With all this in mind, he stepped through the balcony door with excitement and expectation. Suddenly, he found himself encased in a crystalline structure that surrounded his body, holding him still with only his head exposed. The chamber felt subterranean, like a cavernous depth filled with massive stalactites of quartz and rising stalagmites of ruby. His diamond-like prison sat atop a rocky outcropping that rose from a foaming pool of water that bubbled and hissed when it splashed. The air whipped around him with equal parts scorching blast and frigid cold. The castle around him was gone, and now he was trapped in this maelstrom of chaos. "You are an interloper," said a booming yet feminine voice. Rising from the tumultuous water, Maldorn took shape. She hovered in frenzied air and glared down at him. Her eyes were twin flames of the deepest red, and she wore a crown of crystals like a queen. The hair upon her head moved independently of the wind, like kelp beneath the waves of the ocean. She was garbed in a flowing liquid gown that cascaded down her body like a never-ending waterfall, blowing away on the winds and splashing Jackson's face in mist. Raising her hand and pointing at him, her skin was like alabaster marble, with veins of gold and obsidian showing through. She had become like the very elements she commanded. "Why have you invaded my home?" she demanded. Her voice had changed from booming to a more musical tone, like a crystalline wind chime. My name is Jackson, and I'm an elementalist like you. I came looking for you, Mother.